12,000 years ago, every human on Earth was a wanderer. No cities, no farms, just the wild. They followed herds of mammoth and bison, chasing the seasons across untamed continents. For over 100,000 years, this rhythm never changed. Humanity stayed small, mobile, and free. Then, almost overnight in evolutionary terms, everything changed. Humans stopped and started to build. So what could force our nomadic ancestors to abandon a lifestyle that had worked for millennia? The answer begins with ice and a climate catastrophe called the Younger Dryas. In just decades, temperatures collapsed. The lush world our ancestors knew began to die. Wild food sources vanished, herds thinned, starvation stalked every tribe on the planet. Survival now demanded something radical: control over food itself. In the Fertile Crescent, modern-day Iraq and Syria, wild wheat and barley grew thick. The Natufian people began gathering these grains, then began something no one had done before. They replanted the seeds, and for the first time, humans shaped the land instead of following it. Around the same time, something monumental rose from the plains of Turkey: Göbekli Tepe. A massive temple built by hunter-gatherers thousands of years before farming even existed. To feed the thousands who gathered here for rituals, farming may have been born out of faith, not hunger. Soon, goats and sheep were tamed too, no longer prey, but partners in survival. Villages replaced camps, mud brick homes replaced tents. Humanity was putting down roots. But this revolution wasn't happening in just one place. It was happening everywhere, all at once. Thousands of miles apart, with no contact at all, other humans made the exact same leap. In China, along the Yangtze River, tribes began cultivating a strange wild grass: rice. Further north along the Yellow River, millet became the seed of a new civilization. In Mesoamerica, a wild grass called teosinte was slowly transformed into something extraordinary: maize. Corn would go on to feed empires: the Maya, the Aztec, entire worlds built on a single seed. High in the Andes Mountains, another people tamed a humble root: the potato. They also tamed the llama, a beast of burden for a civilization built on stone and sky. In Africa, along the Sahel, sorghum and yams rose from the earth to sustain entirely new societies. 6 continents, 6 different peoples, 6 unconnected agricultural revolutions. It wasn't a single invention. It was a universal human response to a universal pressure. As populations grew, wild land alone could no longer feed everyone. Farming was no longer a choice. It was survival disguised as progress. And once it began, there was no going back. Farming produced surplus. Surplus meant more food, and more food meant more people. Populations exploded. Camps became villages. Villages became towns. With permanent homes came permanent problems. Who owned the land? And who owned the harvest? For the first time in human history, property was born, and with it, inequality.
faster.
Some grew rich in grain
wish
and
to
land.
taste the
Others
whip
became
again?
laborers, or worse, the first slaves. Farming demanded new tools: plows, pottery, irrigation. Necessity became invention. Someone had to track the harvest, the trades, the debts. So humans invented counting and eventually writing. Religion evolved too. Gods of rain, harvest, and sun replaced spirits of the hunt. Walls rose to protect stored grain. War arrived, because now, for the first time, there was something worth stealing. In just a few thousand years, hunter-gatherer bands became kingdoms, empires, and cities of stone. Every road, language, and border on Earth today traces back to that single decision: to plant instead of wander. Agriculture didn't just feed humanity, it rebuilt it. Our bodies, our societies, our very idea of home. It was humanity's greatest gamble, and it changed the fate of our entire species forever. So the next time you eat bread, rice, or corn, remember, it began with a desperate act of survival. Subscribe for more.